Nigga wanna see me fall. Stephen Curry, how I ball. Gosha garments and a white 3 on my body. I'm an icon, man. Damn, a girl about a 10. I should fuck her in the Benz. Niggas say that.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy JR, and I'm back again with another PUBG video. In today's video, as you saw by the title, I'm only going over the best settings for PUBG since the newest update. Before I get into the video, I just want to tell you guys thank you so much for helping me hit 600 subs. It really does mean a lot. You know, we have really grown, and it's crazy to me to think that I'm at 600 from where I started. So I just want to tell you guys thank you so much for any support. You know, even if you watch my video, you know, if you just stop by and drop a like, I really do appreciate it. If you're new, man, hit that sub button. I'm on that 1K grind. Hit that like button for your boy. Let's see if we can get this video to 100 likes, and just leave me a comment and let me know if you're enjoying the new update so far. So, like I said, with the new update since Vikendi dropped, I tweaked my settings just a little bit, but there's also some other things that I wanted to tell you guys about that might improve your experience with PUBG. The very first thing that I don't think I ever covered in my other previous videos is the field of view. Now, this is, this might be something that you guys might want to change. I have mine all the way up. I don't, I generally play third person because first person on Xbox, it seems like it's really hard to get a game. But if you play first person a lot, or, sometimes you go into first person during third person, whenever you adjust this field of view, this basically just it adjusts your view to where you can see wider. So this is really good for just being able to scan your distances a little bit better. It does make, spotting enemies, it makes it a little bit smaller though whenever you look around because it's so wide. So if you have like a 55-inch TV or something like that, I would suggest to have this all the way up. But for myself, to get the best experience and response time, I play on a 32-inch Samsung gaming monitor. So I put mine at 103. You can adjust this to where, what feels best for you. But I leave mine all the way up just so I can get that better. So just so I can see, around a lot better. And then if you're on an Xbox One X, I would highly suggest that you guys, on your graphics mode, that you put this on frame rate as your priority. Just because, as you can see, it says the resolution enables VSync, and this setting is recommended for a consistent frame rate, which is really important on this game. Now you can turn it to resolution priority, which you may get a little bit better graphics, but for me, I'm going frame rate because the frame rate on this game is sometimes really bad, and it drops during gunfights and so I would highly suggest, if you're on an X, to put it at frame rate priority. The next thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about is they recently added this with the new patch. So I would highly recommend that you go down here and you change all of these to full auto. Even for DMRs, the only full auto DMR is the MK14. The reason this is really important, I would say most players have already done this. So whenever let's say you and another player land, at the same time, if your, functionality is set to single and theirs is set to auto, they're going to have that little bit of a time window on you to where they can kill you, because you're going to reload your gun and then you're going to switch to auto. And it's a small second delay, but it definitely matters, especially whenever you're first landing. So I would highly recommend that you guys put all these on full auto. As soon as you pick up your gun and reload, you're basically ready to shoot. So I would definitely change all these to full auto if I were you guys. And then I also have auto reloading on. I like this a lot. Now, basically, whenever you're shooting and you run out of ammo and you accidentally keep shooting, it'll automatically reload for you. So that can, it can save you some time. But the downfall of this is if you're battling with an enemy, especially if they're close to you, and you start potatoing your shots and you start missing, and then your magazine runs out. If you keep shooting, he's going to reload, and whenever you do that, you get that really slow reload animation, and that can sometimes get you killed. It's happened to me before. So really, this is preference. I like having it on though. That's just what I prefer. But just keep in mind, if you turn it on and you start shooting, your character will automatically reload and it'll put you in that slow animation. So just keep that in mind. The third person aim camera position, I just have this at the default at reset to right shoulder. You can put it on latest aim shoulder and latest peak shoulder or left shoulder. I have mine set to default. That's just what I'm used to. This is basically just for third-person perspective mode. So if you play a lot of first-person, then that might not really apply to you. Sometimes people ask me like, how do I get the different color blood? This is where you do that at. You do it under the color blind mode. I have mine on the one that states P and it has blue blood. You can adjust it. There's orange blood as well. So whichever one you like, you can pick, or you can leave it at normal, which will give you the most realistic feel. You can also change your crosshair, and I would do this if I were you guys, because leaving it on white, it's kind of hard to see. I did have mine on red, but when the update came, I just haven't changed it yet. But you can make it just about any color that you want. You can see like when you switch, okay, there it is. Whenever I go back to custom, it goes back to red. And you can change these colors right here, and that will give you different colors on your crosshair. So I'm actually going to go back to red just because that's my favorite color. It's most easy for me to see. And then the kill feed, you can have it on graphic or text. I believe having it on text would be easier to see. I haven't changed this yet. Or you can leave it on graphic, which is just a normal, like if somebody gets ran over, you see like the car symbol, or somebody drowns, you see the drown symbol. I'm actually gonna put this on text. I've been meaning to do that, but if you're used to graphic, then you already know what's going on. But I prefer text, especially if you're new to the game. And then these are my control settings. Now these have changed just a little bit. In my other video, I explained dead zone and aim acceleration, so you guys should know what that is. I'll leave the link to that video in the description if you want a little bit better description of what those two do exactly. But I'm just going to go through my settings, fairly quickly here. You can either do type A or type B. Most people probably prefer type B because you basically hold the trigger to aim down the sights. I'm just used to type A because that's what I first started playing this game on. I started playing it when it first came out, before type B was even out. So I'm so used to type A, and I feel like it's so much easier to hold your breath in type A. For example, so to aim down the sights, I just I click on the bottom right trigger and he automatically aims for me. And then if I want to hold my breath, which gives me that zoom, I push top left bumper. Now if I were playing in type B, I would have to hold bottom right trigger and use my index finger to hold my breath. So for me, I'm just so used to type A, that's what I'm used to. But if you come from games like Call of Duty, or if you play a lot of Apex or so, then type B might be the right one for you guys. And then my right stick dead zone and left stick dead zone, I have both at 10. Now, like I said, I explained this better in my other video, but basically if you have these at higher settings, like let's say I have it on 100, I can move that. If I were to move it up all the way to 100, if I barely move my stick around, my player won't move. So for me to get the best reaction time, I'll leave mine around 10. And then also on your right stick dead zone, that's really important too. That's what you use to control your recoil. So whenever you're shooting and you push down on the right stick, you want to make sure that you control your recoil. And having it on 10, it gives me the best sensitivity to do so. So that's what I have mine on. Then vibration, if I were you guys, I would definitely leave that off. If your controller starts vibrating whenever you're shooting or getting shot at or hit, then it's going to vibrate and that could throw your aim off. So I would highly recommend that you turn that off. Forward running sensitivity, I just have that at 20. Movement sensitivity, I have that on 10. And then my general sensitivity, I have that on 10. Now, I feel like if you're new to the game or if you prefer lower settings, that's fine. I'm just so used to 10 that I like being able to look around fast. So I'll leave that on 10. I believe a good starting point is between 6 and 9 if you're new to the game. I would do that, and if you feel like 9 is too slow, I would do 10. Vehicle driver sensitivity, I have that on 10 as well. I try to keep everything similar at 10, just so my muscle memory is on point with every different movement on this game. Aim acceleration, I have this on, and then I have it on 5, or I'm sorry, I have it on 4. Now aim acceleration, what that does is it speeds your movement up whenever you are moving left or right. So you'll see here, whenever I'm moving left or right like this, the aim acceleration isn't really going to kick on. It's only really going to kick on whenever you're trying to hit a moving target like a moving car. And you'll see here, the longer I move right, the faster he will speed up. So that's basically the best way I can, explain aim acceleration. It just speeds up as you're moving in one direction for long periods of time. Now this can be handy to use if you're like shooting at a moving car or so. So I used to play with it all the way up on 10. but I feel like it's better for me if I have it at a lower sensitivity, so I have it on 4. Now my over-the-shoulder aiming sensitivity, I have that on 14. Now I did have it, this is basically the biggest thing I changed since my last video. Now I did have this on 10, and I recently changed it to 14. The main reason is because I felt like on 10 I didn't really move around fast enough, and the biggest thing with that is, like, I'm gonna try to give you guys an example. Like when I open this door, let's say enemies looking at me and we basically like cross paths, I felt like it was so slow for me to have to turn around whenever it was on 10. I don't know if any of you guys are experiencing that problem, but it's so slow. It was so slow whenever I would need to turn around. So I bumped it up to 14, and with that aim acceleration on 4, that helps. Like aim acceleration applies to, you know, whenever you soft aim like this as well. The longer I push right or left and go in that direction, the faster he will speed up. So 14 was really good for me. You know, it is really fast. So if you aren't exactly used to the higher sensitivity for your movement and for your aim acceleration, or I'm sorry, your soft aim sensitivity, like I said, again, I would suggest that you put it between 6 and 9, and then just go from there based on how you feel. And then let's see, over the shoulder, like I said, I have on 14. Now my 1x red dot, which applies to your red dot, you know, no sight or hollow, I have at 10. 2 times still at 10. 3 times is at 10. Now I'm not gonna lie to you guys, sometimes I feel like on 10, for me, even for me, it's a little bit fast. So I've been thinking about, you know, going down to like 8 or so, but I don't really want to do that. I haven't really decided, and I thought about maybe playing around with it, but I'm so used to it being on 10, I'm afraid it would mess up my muscle memory. I mean, if you guys like change your settings a lot, then you're never really gonna find anything that's really comfortable for you. You know, you need to stick with your settings for at least, you know, I would say at least a few days, just so your muscle memory, you know, gets used to it, and then you can adjust from there. I mean, if you feel like something is way too fast or way too slow, then I would definitely adjust it. But if you are constantly adjusting your settings, then you're not going to get the best results in your game. So I thought about maybe putting this down to 8 just to slow it down just a little bit. But if I were you guys, I would definitely set this between 6 and 9, like I've been saying. I feel like that's a really good starting point. But for now, mine's on 10, and we'll see how that goes. Now I did down my 4x, 6x, and 8x down to 7. These used to be on 10 as well, and I was pretty used to it. But for example, like if you're trying to use a DMR or a car, you want the most precise movements, and lower sensitivity, to be honest, gives you more control over your weapon overall. So I went from 10 to 7 on these, and I feel like it's a lot easier for me to snap on targets. Like if I'm trying to get a headshot with a car, you know, 10 was a little too fast. Even 7 right now, honestly, is a little too fast as well. And I thought about, you know, downing these as well, but like I said, I'm so used to the way they are right now, I don't really want to mess with it. And I feel like I've been playing some of the best PUBG, you know, and I've definitely been having the most fun on this game. But I'm just trying to help you guys, you know, get a starting point. So for your scopes, I would recommend like try around like 4 to 6. For me, I feel like 4 would be extremely slow. Maybe 5 to 6 would be a really good starting point, and you can just go from there. Even at lower sensitivities, like 2 or 3, you could try those. That could help you. It just, you know, whenever I look down a 4x scope, I like to be able to zoom the area really fast, and with it being on 7, I feel like that's, you know, what's best for me. So yeah, I do believe that was all the settings that I wanted to tell you guys about. With the new update, I did change a little bit, but not much. But like I said, make sure that you guys change, you know, your field of view and turn all your guns on auto. But yep, that's all I have on the day, guys. Thank you guys so much for all the support. If you made it this far, you know, feel free to hit that like button for your boy. It really helps me out. Till next time, guys, peace.